Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Anna, for those of you who didn't know that. And today I am doing my September wrap-up. So, this month I joined the Mandiathon and it went really well. I have to say that I actually finished 6 books this month, which is for me really good. So I have like 5 books that goes for the readathon and 1 that I carried over from last month. So why don't we start with the book that I carried over for last month. That was Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. So, I mean, if you don't know what Harry Potter is about, like, where have you been? Because even if I have never read these for 22 years, I know a lot about what is going on in those, because I apparently know a lot of things about a book and a movie I haven't even watched or read before. So yeah, obviously in Harry Potter we are following Harry Potter, and I won't talk about these particular books because it's the 4th in the series, and yeah, basically it's about Harry Potter, and when he was 13 he found out that he was a witch and was going to go to Hogwarts. He lives with his, let's say, Muggle family, like uncle and aunt. A Muggle basically means human. That is not a wizard. And basically they are not happy about him being a wizard. However, after a lot of things, he gets sent to Hogwarts. I gave this book 4.5 stars. I think that if I ever reread it, I might bump it up to 5 stars. But the thing is, I used like over a month reading this because I were in a reading slump, and so yeah, I really loved it whenever I read it, but I felt like I couldn't give it more than 4.5 stars since I used so long on it. But if I ever reread it, I might bump it up to 5 stars because it was really good. So yeah. Then we can go over to the Mandiathon, and I think I will go with this time how the prompts are set and not which order I read them in. The first prompt was M is for mystery. Find a good mystery novel. It can even be a middle grade. So for this, I chose Stalking Jack the Ripper. Basically, Stalking Jack the Ripper is about Audrey Rose, and this is like set in, I don't know when, London in like 1950s or something, 1915 or something. And basically in that time period, women weren't kind of supposed to do anything. However, Audrey Rose has like a great passion about life. Audrey Rose has a like great compassion on like, let's call it forensic medicine. She basically likes to dissect bodies with her uncle, which her father hates, by the way. And then she meets Thomas Creswell, my favorite of all times. And soon they find out that there is a person called Jack the Ripper who is he is killing women and taking their organs. And basically, Audrey Rose and Thomas must figure out how this all came to be. Why is he doing this? So yeah, I really loved it. This is a reread for me. Last time I gave it 4 stars. This time around I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. And yeah, it was super interesting, even the second time around. And I basically read this because I want to read Hunting Prince Dracula, which is the next one in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. And basically there they are going to Romania to a forensic medicine school. So yeah, it was super interesting. And then we have A is for adventurer. Any adventure story can make you an adventurer. Maybe one that takes you to a far away place or a realm. So for this one I chose Lost Boy by Christina Henry. And basically Christina Henry is like this great person who writes retellings of kind of your favorite Disney movies or books. And this particularly is it's a Peter Pan retelling. However, it's not kind of told from Peter Pan himself. It's told from a person called James. And it's really, really interesting to see. It kind of makes you don't like Peter Pan because it's told in a really like way that makes you don't like him. And she writes it in this way that makes you believe that side of the story. And it's super interesting. You kind of see different sides of all the stories, why that happened and things like that. And it's really, really interesting to see. And basically it all sums up who it is if you read like the last 2 sentences. It says, Peter will say I'm a villain, that I wronged him, that I never was his friend. Peter lies. And that kind of all sets up who it's actually about, and it's actually really fascinating to see how you kind of can turn things around so you kind of side with a villain instead of like Peter Pan. So that's a really interesting concept, and I gave these 5 stars. I like devoured the whole book in like not long a time because it was so good, and I just felt like I couldn't put it down. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading more Christina Henry. And then we have N is for nocturnal. Find a story that involves vampires or werewolves. or something that goes bump in the night. So for this one, I originally planned to read Stray. However, I didn't get in a reading slump. I just had a lot to do, and basically I didn't read for like a few days and got behind. So I find out that I should kind of get a graphic novel so I can read a book for this prompt without like having to read way too much. So I read Ferals, and that is basically about, I don't know how to even explain it. It's really short and somewhat a cliffhanger, but it's kind of about a werewolf, but it's kind of like a really scary like mutant werewolf that rips people apart. And yeah, that is kind of all I can say. It's not a lot of pages. It was really good though. It's really graphic, just so that is said. Really graphic. I will say that it's not for the easy stomach because it's graphic, really graphic. So yeah. And then we have D is for dungeon. Read a book about the dungeon or a castle or has a castle on the cover. And for this one I read Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This is the 5th book in the Harry Potter series, and this particular one I gave 5 stars. I loved it, and I had set myself only to read 100 pages each day at the end of this, and I kept to that even though I wanted to read more, because I knew that if I read too much I can easily get burned out because this is a thick one. But I really enjoyed it. I love the writing and I love what's going on in this. I mean, I won't tell again what Harry Potter is about because I just did. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I mean, it's really interesting, and yeah. And then the last prompt was E is for eerie. Pick a good ghost story or a book with either the word ghost in the title or a ghost on the cover. So for this, I chose to read City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. And basically it's about Cassie. Or is it Cassidy? Cassie, I think. And her parents are like famous, I would say, ghost hunters. Like, they tell ghost stories. And they are going to like film a TV show about that. So they go to Edinburgh. In Scotland to film that TV show. But the special thing about Cassidy maybe, she can kind of go into the place called the Vale, which basically is a place between life and kind of death, where ghosts roam around that haven't been sent on. And basically she don't know what she kind of does there. So when she meets a person who actually knows why she can do that, but also gives her a really strong warning about the woman she must keep away from, she kind of needs to understand it all. And she also has a best friend, Jacob, but he is a ghost. So yeah, it's a middle grade. It's really good. I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. Listen to it on audiobook. It was a really good audiobook, to be honest, and I would definitely recommend if you feel like this is something you could enjoy. So yeah, I can't wait to read the next Tunnel of Bones. So should be fun. But yeah, that was basically all the books that I have read. I'm actually really happy about what I read. So yeah. If you want to follow me on any of my social media, all the links are down in the description, and I will see you next time. Bye!